Connecting to your higher self can give you peace, healing, guidance, and wisdom that you won't have without your higher self. But what are things you do that could be blocking your higher self from being able to connect to you? The last video I posted was, what is your higher self? Why do you want to communicate with your higher self? And how do you communicate to your higher self? So if you missed that one, definitely go back and check it out if you need some guidance in that area. So I can give credit where credit is due. I'm getting the information for this video from a book called Life, Before, During, and After by A Spirit Speaks book. It is a channeled book. The guide who addresses the topic of what can we do to block our higher self's name is Ting Lao. And I want to read what Ting Lao says about what we do to block our higher self. He says, there are some specific physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual activities that can disconnect us from our higher self. On the physical plane, often your higher self cannot be active in a body that is confused with substances like drugs or alcohol. He says that even chemicals and sugar can set up a vibration in the physical self that the higher self cannot be in touch with or plug into. And that can cause the higher self to disconnect. Another thing that can cause disconnection from our higher self is trauma. People become mentally disordered after trauma, such as the death of a loved one, constant abuse, or perhaps after being raped. And I want to add to this by saying that any really traumatic event can cause us so much pain and emotional dysregulation that we find ourselves not being able to get in touch with our higher self and be in touch with that guidance and that wisdom. Ting Lao also goes on to say that we can become so focused and one-track minded that can keep us from connecting to our higher self. For instance, we can be so focused on making money, on our work, on a particular relationship, or any obsession that creates a narrow viewpoint that it just blocks everything else, including our connection to our higher self. And reading again from the book, Ting Lao says, to prevent disconnecting from your higher self, it's not so much that you have to do anything, but rather to not do certain things. He says you need to take care of your body. Do not pollute it so that it disconnects from your higher self. Take care of your emotions by listening to them and feeling them inside your body. Think for yourself and work through your own programming. Be aware of the anger-causing aspects of the consciousness of your society and don't succumb to the anger. Ting Lao says be careful not to slip into lazy ways so that you detach from your spiritual energies. Ting Lao stresses the need to spend time in spiritual endeavors, simply giving time to your higher self or thinking about your purpose in life or caring for others. He says you have to be doing something spiritual for some part of your conscious day. For if you do not pay any attention to spiritual ways, when your higher self checks in, it may discover, oh, so-and-so is not paying attention to me this month. I'll check back in again next month. So as a recap, Ting Lao listed drugs, alcohol, sugar, trauma, being one-track minded and focused on something intensely that's not spiritual, and not paying attention and dedicating any part of your day to spiritual endeavors. So to connect to your higher self, to receive that guidance, that wisdom, spend time talking to your higher self. Spend time talking to your spirit team. Spend time in meditation or journaling. Spend time in nature. Take care of your body. Take care of your emotions and listen to them. Doing healing work on yourself can clear the pathway, can clear the clouds and the clutter. And the last thing Ting Lao mentioned was thinking for yourself and not getting angry just because someone else tells you to get angry. Don't fall into the societal pressure. And don't slip in to lazy ways.